Poodle that poodle. Poodle that poodle. Poodle that poodle.
Hey, all right. We are live with episode number 2 of the POODLCAST as I look at myself in the camera, trying to adjust my headset. What an incredible week. All right, so first off, I want to thank everyone who has subscribed, listened, tuned in, shared this POODLCAST. This is crazy because a few things I didn't share on the last episode where I told you about why I got into Poodle and altcoins and all this stuff, right? I shared about my house fire. I shared about just finding a place where I could escape to. But what I didn't share about was, the kind of that ride of, okay, what's going on? How do you watch the market go up? How do you watch the market go down? How do you not freak out at every single thing that happens, right? And so that's what I wanted to talk about today is how do we know the ups and downs? Okay, because here's what I see. We all go on the Telegram, right? And we go, oh, we're pumping today, we're dumping it, whatever, right? If things are down, things are up, things are down. And so what I want to do is I want to do a little bit of an edumacation for everybody here, okay? How does this work? We had Paul on last week, and he had done a few things on our Telegram talking about how the pricing works. What people have to understand is that any coin, especially like Poodle or any of the other ones, right? Any of the coins that are built on the Binance Smart Chain are tied to Binance, right? And so therefore, when Binance is up, we go up. Now, Binance is a clone of the Ethereum blockchain, right? And so therefore, if Ethereum goes up, Binance goes up, and therefore we go up. But if Ethereum drops and then Binance drops and we drop, right? So it's all tied together. And so it's interesting when people say, hey, we're going down, but our users are going up. So why does that happen? Well, because you have to look at the entire market. And this is one of those things where I said, okay, what makes me interested in Poodle? Because if you look at our market in general, of the ups and the downs, and you put it across all of the other tokens, or you just put it across Ethereum and Binance, and you go, okay, well, where are we going? If Ethereum drops by, say, 30%, that should create a 30% drop in Binance, and then Binance drops by 10 or 20%, and that should create an additional drop in POODL. But what we noticed was at the same time the market was dropping, we weren't dropping at the same percentage rate. So that says something special about what we're doing, right? Because here's the whole thing. Value is based upon how you're locked together with another token, right? So we have our lock-in and our liquidity pool against, say BNB, which is how you buy this on Pancake Swap, right? Or whatever if you're going to one of the exchanges. And so therefore, what you should see is when BNB goes back up, we don't even have to have another sell. Our value will go up. Our price will go up. And if BNB were to go down, our price goes down. Everything goes down. Because you have to look at it according to BNB. And what happens is people look at it according to the US dollars, right? So if you look at the US dollars and you go, oh, buy in now because things have dropped. Well, you're also going to buy less BNB at that point, right? And so therefore, your actual value, you have to look in relation to something else. And this is where I started spending the last week. And I was like, okay, people are coming to me after the first podcast saying, wait a minute. I don't get how you're interested in something where the market is down, everything is going down, and you're still tweeting about this, and you're still excited about this token, and it looks like things are traveling down. And I go like, no, look at it in comparison to what POODL has is a community that has pulled together and actually shown versus all of the other tokens and the actual market of according to Bitcoin and then, Ethereum and BNB, you look at those and you look at the trajectory of the pricing. POODL is actually one of the only things that's up, right? And those who have bought in early are actually in a better position as the market goes because the relative value according to other tokens. And this is what was really exciting to me. And so I started looking at that and going, oh, I need to buy more and I need to buy more. And everyone, this is your time. If you have any token, and by the way, do your own research, blah, 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 all of that stuff. This is not financial advice, but it kind of is. This is where you want to look at the relative value of the market and then POODL versus the rest of the market. And this is a killer time for our token. And that's it. And I want everyone to actually understand is that when we have altcoins, you have to look at this as according to how many BNB did you buy in at and how many BNB can you get now, right? We can't look at this in terms of the US dollars because it's not equivalent in that same way unless you're looking to get out. And I don't know why you would go into a token that's built to hold and want to get out. So there was my little sandbox for today. And I want to talk about one other thing because I have a great guest today that we're going to bring in a few minutes as I drink my hotel coffee here. One thing I didn't mention last week, and what I think is kind of cool about our token, when we created this podcast and I reached out to the community and said, hey, I have this ability. I know how to do this. Let's go and do this. One of the coolest things is I have 100% freedom to do with this podcast whatever I want. And that tells you something about why we're special, right? Because I said, okay, well, what do you guys want to do with it? And they said, you're the expert. Well, what should I talk about? Well, you're the expert. Because when a community-driven token means that we truly are community-driven. We know that there are tons of tokens. Those who follow all of this know that there's, 10 every hour started. I mean, I'm making that number up, but there's so many started. And there's only so many that are going to make it through. I did this test this week because as I put this podcast out there, I started seeing people reach out to me and talk to me like I'm an expert. I'm no expert. I'm just someone who loves this token, and I love our community, and I'm doing this. So I did this. I bought one BNB, or I took one BNB, and I took 4 random tokens that all started in the 1 hour, and I put a quarter BNB into each one of them. And I said, I want to see what happens over the next 3 days. So I did this on Friday. This is Monday. So if you're watching this, Monday, June 7th, we're live. And I said, I just want to see what happens. They all launched. I did it the second they launched, right? Second-ish, within the first few minutes. And I would see what happens. And the funny thing is, so out of my 1 BNB, I think I have equivalent of about 0.4 BNB left. Only one of them is actually worth what I actually put in. The rest all died. And why? Because there's no backing. And this is what makes us special. And what I think that as a community, we need to recognize, right? When you have a token, and this is what I talked about last week, what is our use case? People go, well, what's the use case of a meme token? Well, the use case is the community. And I think we can't forget that. I talked last week about my fire and how people have come together and helped me, and just being able to have an escape where I can go and I can be able to just get away from life and come onto our Telegram and be able to be together with you all means something. And that's why we pulled together. Now, what I noticed when I did my test this last week was that I bought in and then I looked them up. I wanted to do the don't do your own research. I literally did a don't do your own research. And I found that out of everything that had dropped, there was no community backing. There was somebody saying we're community, we're pumping, we're doing this, but there was no sense that everything was pulling together. And that's what makes us different, right? And so what I want people to understand, and I know I'm on my soapbox right now, just sharing out, that we have an opportunity as a, as a token, as a cryptocurrency, as a whatever, to make a difference. We have an opportunity to say that we are more than just a chance to make money. That's important. We all want to make money, right? We want our value to go up. But we actually have an opportunity to bring value to one another, to bring a community together with one another. And that's what's special. That's what makes us be different than everything else that's out there. And that's what I've found. And this last week, since we launched episode 1, was people coming together and go, I was touched by your story. Therefore, I wanted to get into this token. And that's not why I did this. I did this because I wanted to share my journey with everybody else. And because the Poodle has helped me through my journey, is why I wanted to start the podcast. And that's what I think that we need to remember as we come together, because there's going to be a time when, alt season meme coins are no more, when it's no longer profitable for the pump and dump because there's just too many of them. And that's our key, because we're not that. We're not a pump and dump. We're a community of people who want to share with one another. And so I'm going to start to transition into my guest this week because, all right, so I'm going to give a little bit of a fair assessment here. I'm pretty sure that, and he might tell me otherwise, that I might be the reason that he's in Poodle. And the ups and downs. So I want us to, first off, all right, I'm switching my windows. I got to figure out how I'm doing this. All right, let me bring in Craig, Zoom input. All right, boom. Let's see, window capture. All right, Craig, you're there. You are in.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's doing good. So you heard a little bit of my intro here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess first, introduce yourself. You're part of the Poodle community. You're not an admin. You're just a holder.
Yeah, I'm. My name's Craig Shibley. I'm pretty little less active. Going to get back to it. Got busy in the day job, but was pretty active with the Telegram and especially the Reddit Poodle channel for a while. And it's a lot of fun. Just been making the memes, talking to people. For a while, I felt like admin, especially after the airdrop, trying to help people navigate through Reddit. And you were, not to go off on my own thing real quick, but you were talking about community and everything. And it's like, well, that felt like community. How many people thanked me for stuff and stuff that I just learned as a crash course as being a part of this community and knowing like, okay, there were processes in place, how to help and things like that. And so, yeah, for a little while, kind of felt like admin. But it was just about helping each other out and making sure people were even more than the actual help. Is like, no, your tokens are okay. Here's what happened. Here's what you need to do. And just kind of having that confidence and all that. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, and that was the coolest thing is when I see you on there because you and I know each other from years past. We're both Poodle holders. And so when, the transition from version 1 to version 2 happened and I see you on there and you're helping people out. So talk about like, what is it? In your journey. So you're relatively new into the meme token-ish thing. That's not just Doge or whatever. Right. So talk about that and like that journey in, and then also just helping out the community. What makes this different?
So you alluded to this earlier. I would say you are not the first person I heard of Poodle from. Oh. But I didn't get into Poodle till after you and I had discussed it. So there were different things on my radar. I hadn't quite dove in yet. I'm an economics person. So I'd been following kind of on the outside in, kind of just seeing how these things work and stuff like that. I followed Doge up and down even before January and into it, just never got into it. And it's been kind of a crash course 6 months in like the best way of understanding, okay, if I'm on this unnamed platform, I can get involved with cryptocurrency, but I don't actually own the coins. And then what's the point? I don't need to be, that's a whole separate type of rug pull if they stop trading and things like that. And so then it's a matter of, okay, how do I own? What do I get into? You and I had discussed Poodle, and the big thing for me with Poodle was just seeing a roadmap. That they had a roadmap laid out on their website. They've continually updated. Whoop, you're losing me.
I'm like, wait, is your chair going down or is your
no. And I like not only that they do it, but that they modify it. Right. That it's like, okay, what's most important right now? And to me, that makes me comfortable. Yeah. And but yeah, so I got in during V1. I think I got in early March. And so it's been really, the community's been fun. Like I said, from my perspective, the airdrop was fantastic. Everybody did a great job. If you're ahead of things and follow the rules, and now I understand that maybe I'm in a more privileged position where I was allowed to be on top of it more than other people were. And that I can understand if some people purchase something and we're like, my whole point is to hold. I'm not even going to think about this for a year. And I understand that. And I definitely have empathy for people in that situation. But from my perspective of seeing what was going on and following the rules or not following the rules, but just following the steps to be able to see the tokens, it was a dream. Right. And the way I see it, there's been some chatter of like, oh, we shouldn't have switched from V1. We lost momentum, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, they saved us money. Anybody that was in now, when I got in, I knew V1 was coming, or V2 was coming. So that's kind of part of the plan. But for everybody else, we got saved in that sense. And so that was, and people, I don't think people necessarily see it that way. From my perspective, the token right now is right where it was in March. And I'm okay with that. I held through the ups. I'm holding through the down. You and I joke, I'm going to hold long term, so it doesn't matter. Yet I watch the price multiple times a day, every day. I don't know why I do that. I'm not, I know. It could drop a 0 tonight. I'm not selling. It could go down tonight. I'm not selling. I don't know why I look at it, but I do. So, but it's been fun.
Yeah, and that's so funny because you and I are both the same. And I remember messaging you like Yeah. Or you messaged me one day when we had that like jump to 50, right? And we're up there and we're like, oh, life is good. And then, market does its thing and we kind of, it goes down and I'm like, are you still in? Or, are you, what happened, And we're both just like, we're here, right? We're here.
Yeah.
Why do you do it? And so it's almost like it's an entertainment value, right? You watch it just in order to like stick your own eyes, right? Because there's something fun about pulling a Band-Aid off every now and then, right? Or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think part of it is I don't care if it goes down, but I don't want to miss the rise.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of some excitement with that. But there was, what was it? Towards the end of March where we had some eyes bugging out of the head moment. But even with the down, it's like, well, doing all right. And this is a time to promote the fact that there's distro, right?
Yeah.
So even people selling through fear from the drop, selling at the peak, I'm up 1 billion tokens just from distro.
Yep.
So the price can drop a little bit. And, the way I see it, when I'm taxed on the way out, I'm not going to feel a thing because I'll be way up more through the distro anyway.
Yep.
I'll be so high up through everybody else buying and selling that I'm not going to feel a thing when it comes time to let go, which is I'm a long-term holder, so it doesn't really matter. And that's another part of being way up, right? Because I'm going to get all that distro for years. So
yeah, no, exactly. And so if I can say like, so as part of like a community, how do you then, or what advice do you have for people who do watch it every day and worry about it? Because isn't it, and this is what, I'm not sure if we had mentioned about this there's a certain like up and down. Okay, the market goes up. Oh, we're doing great. And then it goes down. Oh, no. But then you're like, but then you hashtag, hodler, right? Like, why are you worried about it if you're not planning on selling? Like, so talk about it.
Well, I think a huge thing, I stopped looking at my wallet, right? I look at the price bot or charts or whatever, because anytime that, for us being in the US, anytime that American dollar sign is in front of something, it hurts seeing that go down more than it does numbers that aren't attached. So I like looking at the chart.
Yep.
I think that helps. And then it becomes the more learning, assessing, do trends in crypto mean anything like they do in the stock market? Probably not, or maybe they do. We're learning, right? This is still such a new world. We're learning how different types of things work. And so I'm in some stocks as well. So being able to kind of see, like, do they follow the same trend? Is there anything along with that? I think that's a big thing to be able to hold, but kind of remove that emotion from it. You're not seeing like, oh, I lost rent money this last week, right? It's removing that kind of emotional tie to it. And then I would also say, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right. I've been saying all along, dips are a feature, not a bug. Dips are letting you know, okay, big whales got out, that maybe the whole market is coming down. It's an opportunity to buy more, all of those things. So part of this market is the dips. And so treat the dips like a feature, not a bug, because when they come up, they come up. We've had a few slingshot moments in POODL, right? Where that dip has put us back up. Now the whole market turned the wrong direction for us, but that doesn't take away that it's a good coin with long-term prospects that I was planning on holding no matter what. So being able to kind of follow that. And then honestly, some of the best memes come out of the dips. So why not, right? And enjoy the dips and let people entertain you, because there's a lot of funny stuff that comes out of that.
No, you're so true. All right, so a couple points, and I think you make a great one about the ups and downs when you go to the market, because again, there's something about watching your wallet when you open your wallet and you see the value, whatever. But I think what people have to recognize is don't look at it against the US dollar. Look at it against the BNB that you put in. And I did that with mine and said, okay, well, if I were to actually sell off my entire bag, which no way in hell I'm didn't do. But if I did, I looked at how many BNB I would get for that, right? And I'm actually up, even if the price is down, because and that shows the way we're trending. Because and then when BNB goes up, so that was the one point. But then with that, let's talk about memes, because you to me, you created the best meme, and that you did the Mario one. All right,
Yeah.
so so those who kind of follow, we're doing the Poodle Olympics, right? And you did the Super Mario Brothers, trophy. Explain it, and then talk a little bit about.
Yeah, so it was when NES had the Mario Olympics, and so all I did was get an image of the podium shot for the Mario Olympics, and I just did. And I mean, I'm not a Photoshop guy. I just did quick little images, whatever. But it had Mario in first, Bowser in second, and Peach in third. And I just put Poodle where Mario was in first, Doge in second, and I don't remember who I put third at this point, because it was round one Poodle Olympics, and it says it was a race one, so on the bottom it said like distance, and I put moon, and so yeah, so just a little our Poodle podium.
Yeah, no, that was fantastic. I love that. And I remember seeing on the Telegram, like, who created this? Who created this? This is fantastic. And I think that's the fun part about kind of, just being part of a meme token, right? And, I've had conversations with some of our colleagues in, the industry we work in going, I can't believe they're like, I can't believe you're part of this. I'm like, you have to look at this as, entertainment value. Like, there is something that's just fun about these tokens, right? So what are some of your favorite moments throughout all of this? And I'm sure that obviously seeing the price skyrocket overnight is always fun, but
I'm every time on the Telegram excuse me, on the Telegram price channel, it can go up the smallest amount, and the amount of memes that come with the pump it memes, and it's the same ones every time, and I laugh every time it hits me. And so sometimes I'll open up the channel and the last thing won't be the price. I won't look at the price, but I'll just see a string of pump its, and I'm like, oh, it went up. It doesn't matter how much, it went up, because we could drop a zero, or we could go up the smallest fraction, and we're getting the same memes. And I'm not embarrassed to say it, I laugh at the same memes every time. And I'm like, all right, great.
Yep. No, I totally agree. It's almost therapeutic, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's just, there's something about when you see it. And I love, so I'm watching the YouTube chat. Someone, where can I check the current price? And I don't know if that's a joke or not, by the way, whoever put that in there. But as long as I don't see Whitebit comment, we're all good. No.
Yeah. I bought on April 27th. Where's that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We thought the other
hashtag read the pinned messages. But and I think that this is one of the things that I love. And, people know, like, I'm the one that did the video of, inside the Tesla and then SpaceX and all that stuff. Yeah. And it's so cool to see that get used other places. Like when I'm online, I'll see someone, put it on their TikTok, and they've put something over it, and like, I took that video 5 months ago, or I know it's not 5 months ago, but you know what I mean? Like, toward the beginning.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's fantastic. And I think that that's one of the things that really is kind of cool about what we do, because it's one of those, like, I've never had any content I've made keep being used over and over. And it was just me pulling up in front of SpaceX and taking my phone and doing this, right? And that's kind of the cool thing. So now, and just so people know, I haven't scripted any of this stuff, so I have no idea what your answers are. But can we crystal ball it? Can we crystal ball? You want to pretend? You want to pretend to crystal ball? I mean, outside of the moon and Mars and 8 galaxies away,
Yeah.
Like, how do you see us trending? What should we be
Yeah.
doing? What can anyone who's a regular holder do? You know, that type of stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that suggestions tend to pop up like crazy anytime there's a drop in price, as far as like what the plan is and stuff like that. We should change the distro to 15%. We should blah, blah, blah. And don't get me wrong, we're a community token, so we should listen and understand everything. But every drop doesn't mean let's change something, right? Let's look at what our long term is and let's go with it. So with that in mind, what can our rule be? Our rule can be just keep doing what we're doing. It drops, make it, not having a lot can spur creativity, right? So just keep doing what you're doing with memes. Keep doing what you're doing, helping people purchase, right? The Poodle website, great resource for all purchases and everything, but sometimes people just want to be walked through it. So it's not about every time, because to me, personally, if every time it drops, we have a new suggestion on how to change, that's just a different version of FUD.
Yeah.
Right. That's just a different version of, now it can be more of a helpful version of FUD, let's say, but it's still FUD. So if we have something, boom, let's go direct to an admin. We can put it out that way. They accept DMs on the Telegram channel. Otherwise, your part is going to be to help people find their way around. And that's the way I see it. I'm not an admin. I can't tell you everything behind it, but if people need help finding their way around, I'll be a tour guide. I'm totally cool with that. And I think that's what you should do. Crystal balling it, I don't know. I expect us to be up in 6 months. That's the way I see it. And that's all I'm concerned about. And yes, there are bigger whales in crypto, and meme tokens are going to kind of be feeder fish following the direction of that whale. And we have to, that's part of what we're in right now. And I'm totally cool with that. That's just the way it's going to be. So knowing, like, did anything change with Poodle itself that should make us feel like we need to change what we're doing, right? Because we can't change Poodle every time the bigger whale shifts. That doesn't make any sense. Is Poodle doing what it should be doing? Are we doing the charity thing? Are we doing community? Are the monthly, quarterly checkbox being checked? And as far as I can tell, they are. And and I keep up with that stuff, and their admins have done a great job. And so I expect us to be up in 6 months. I expect us to help each other out. That's kind of, from a macro perspective, that's all we should be doing.
Yep. No, I love that. And I think that you've totally nailed it. It's funny because I didn't think about it till you said it, is when things are, when you have an uptrend day, things are great. You have a downtrend day, and all of a sudden there's 800 suggestions on what we should have done so that we don't like, well, where was the suggestion while we were uptrending to keep it going, right? And I think that that's you're right. It makes it it's why we're a community for that. But also, you said something in one of your posts, which to me, I keep coming back to. You said, trust the process. Right? Yep. And that's the roadmap. So talk about that.
So a lot of this was it was just after the airdrop. And it was a lot of like, where are the memes? Where's the marketing? Where's the this? And for us on the outside, it's easy to be like, when's the next thing coming? But there was so much work that I do not envy being done on the back end. We got the Whitebit situation figured out. I said we. At dev team, admin team got the Whitebit situation figured out. And there was a ton of work behind the airdrop, saving us money for anybody who had V1. And shortly after that, it was like, okay, here's what's coming. And I was like, yes, we got into this token because we trust that it isn't a rug pull. We trust that there's more going on. So let's be a part of a community and help each other out, but also not being like, what's going on every 30 seconds? Because there are people working hard. So when the new roadmap came out, I'm like, yeah, we're with a good token. Let's have fun. Let's do our part, but trust the process.
Yep. All right. So can you hear the alarm going off behind me? There is like,
barely.
I am in a hotel room. See, this is how dedicated I am to this podcast. I am at a conference in a hotel room, and there is a beeping going on, and it is driving me nuts. And so there we go. This is what happens in real life, right? And somehow something is waking it. So if it drives everyone nuts, then, I'm going to apologize now. It's getting louder.
Too bad, actually.
And I have my ears in, and it's getting louder. So at some point, but anyway, I think you just nailed it. Like, this is the fantastic thing about us is just real life, real people pulled together, just, and for an investment that we're all going to retire on because, right, hashtag or slash, Poodle is my retirement, right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing that makes everything special about what we're doing is just, like you just said, when you're going to trust the process, you go through with what it is, you help everybody out. That's where we all come together. And I think that that's the coolest thing. Like, no one is going to help you, through your 401k, right? But we have people helping us through, whatever is in front of us now with this, right? And I think that's what's cool. And I'm excited about seeing what comes next. So, Craig, one, I just want to thank you for coming on. Any last words, last advice? What can someone do who's holding now? Any tidbits of like how do we help our community out?
Get involved, have fun. I mean, that's it. It shouldn't be too hard. Once you got the token, it's not meant to be hard. Get in, have fun. When you have time, post something, comment on something, upvote something. If you don't have time, don't worry about it. This shouldn't stress you out. This shouldn't be something that you feel like you have to put the work in constantly. Do what you can when you can. Have fun.
Yep. No, totally agree. Totally agree. And I'm watching the live stream, like going, I really hope there's no fire going on. I don't need two fires in my life. And I'm on the 28th floor overlooking San Diego Bay. So I
don't see any smoke.
Yeah, no, at least not yet. It is a little hazy out over the San Diego Bay. But Craig, thank you so much for joining. And as everyone knows, so obviously you'll see him on the Telegram. You'll see him on, I think this is exactly what our community needs. So I'm going to kill your, I'm killing your view. There you go. You are, you're going to be out. I think you're going to be out if I can figure out how to do it.
I'm holding this for a while.
I know. Oh, there, you're out. All right. You're out.
Thank you, Joe.
Hey, thank you. So again, everyone, I just want to thank you for coming in today. And I love this episode. I love talking to the community. I love the fact that, Craig and I knew each other before Poodle. We're going to continue to, to be friends after. And we got into this together. And it's been a journey with one another. And this is what makes us special, right? Is the fact that you can find somebody that you know and build that community together. And that's, not just those who you don't know and you find on the Telegram, which is fantastic, but also those who you do know and who might be interested in crypto or might be, and we all see this, right? Because we see that banks and retailers and all of this are now accepting crypto as payment. So people are interested right now. They're thinking, hey, how can I get involved? And this is a good opportunity to bring them in and show them. And Craig mentioned something. This has been a learning opportunity. And this is it for me too. Like just putting money into it and then going, hey, this has been my opportunity to learn how the market works, move up and down. And I know you're playing with real money and, how to learn, but you have to be able to learn. And we have a community that wants to educate you on this and wants to show you how these work. So that to me is what's been fantastic. So I want to thank everyone. We're running late on this episode, but it was fun. Next week, we have a few special weeks coming up. We're going to talk to more community members. We're going to bring on some more admins, but we want to focus on the diverse voices of Poodle. We want to bring in some women of crypto. We're going to bring in some charity. We're going to talk to all of why we're here and who we are. right? So stay tuned. Mondays at 7 a.m. Pacific time, where I am. I think that's 1400 UTC. We'll see you next week. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell 100 of your closest friends. And until next time, take care.